NBC presents the fourth of this series of great plays, Edward II by Christopher Marlowe.
Edward II, exclusive of the Shakespearean plays, remains today the most important English historical classic drama. Critics are agreed that this is Marlowe's most mature work and reveals his genius at its height. The date of the work is placed between 1590 and 1592. And now the play. Edward II, Act 1, Scene 1. A street in London. Gaveston, who has just returned from France, stands reading a letter from the king.
My father is deceased. Come, Gaveston, and share the kingdom with thy dearest friend. Ah, words that make me surfeit with delight. What greater bliss can hap to Gaveston than live and be the favorite of a king? Sweet prince, I come. These thy amorous lines might have enforced me to have swum from France, and like Leander gasped upon the sand, so thou wouldst smile, and take me in thine arms.
No.
Here comes my lord the king and the nobles from the parliament. I'll stand aside.
My friend, Lord Mortimer.
Yes, my liege.
Will you not grant me this?
If you love us, my lord, hate Gaveston. Mine uncle here, this earl, and I myself, was sworn to your father at his death that he should ne'er return into the realm. And know, my lord, ere I will break my oath, this sword of mine that should offend your foes shall sleep within the scabbard at thy need, and underneath thy banners march who will, for Mortimer will hang his armor up.
Mortimer, I'll make thee rue these words. Beseems it thee to contradict thy king? Frownest thou thereat, aspiring Lancaster? I say I will have Gaveston, and you shall know what danger it is to stand against your king.
My lord, why do you thus incense your peers, that naturally would love and honor you, but for that base and obscure Gaveston? 4 earldoms have I besides Lancaster. These will I sell to give my soldiers pay, ere Gaveston shall stay within the realm. Therefore, if he come from France, expel him straight.
Barons and earls, yet dare you brave the king into his face? Brother, revenge it, and let these their heads perch upon poles for this trespass of their tongues.
Oh, our head?
Aye, yours. And therefore I would wish you grant my wish.
Not I. By heaven, I'd rather...
Bridle thy anger, gentle Mortimer.
I cannot, nor I will not. Come, uncle. Let us leave this brain-sick king, and henceforth parley with our naked swords. Adieu, my lord. And either change your mind, or look to see the throne where you should sit, to float in blood, and at thy wanton head, the glazing head of thy base minion throne. Come, my lord.
Am I a king and must be overruled? Brother, display my ensigns in the field. I'll bandy with these barons and the earls, and either die or live with Gaveston.
My lord, my liege.
What? Gaveston, welcome. Nay, kiss not my hand. Embrace me, Gaveston, as I do thee. Why shouldst thou kneel? Knowest thou not who I am? Thy friend, thyself, another Gaveston. Not Hylas was more mourned of Hercules than thou hast been of me since thy exile.
And since I went from hence, no soul in hell hath felt more torment than poor Gaveston.
I know it, brother. Welcome home, my friend. Now let the treacherous Mortimers conspire and that high-minded Earl of Lancaster. I have my wish, in that I joy thy sight. And sooner shall the sea o'erwhelm my land than bear the ship that shall transport thee hence. I here create thee Lord High Chamberlain, Earl of Cornwall, King and Lord of Man.
My lord, these titles far exceed my worth.
Thy worth, sweet friend, is far above my gifts. Therefore, to equal it, receive my heart. If for these dignities thou be envied, I'll give thee more.
It shall suffice me to enjoy your love, which whiles I have, I think myself as great as Caesar riding in the Roman street with captive kings at his triumphant car.
Whither goes my Lord Bishop of Coventry?
To celebrate your father's exequies. But is that wicked Gaveston returned?
Aye, priest, and lives to be revenged on thee, that were the only cause of his exile.
'Tis true, and but for reverence of those robes, thou shouldst not plod 1 foot beyond this place.
I did no more than I was bound to do. And Gaveston, unless thou be reclaimed, as then I did incense the Parliament, so will I now. And thou shalt back to France.
Throw off his golden mitre, rend his stole, and in the channel christen him anew.
Brother, lay not violent hands on him. For he'll complain unto the See of Rome.
Let him complain unto the sea of hell. I'll be revenged on him for my exile.
Spare his life, but seize upon his goods. Be thou Lord Bishop, and make him serve thee as thy chaplain. I give him thee. Here, use him as thou wilt.
He shall to prison, and there die in both.
I to the tower, the fleet, or where thou wilt.
For this offense, be thou accursed of God.
Hello! Who comes there?
'Tis I, me lord.
Convey this priest to the tower.
Yes, me lord. Come, your reverence.
In the meantime, Gaveston away, and take possession of his house and goods. Come, follow me, and thou shalt have my guard to see it done, and bring thee safe again.
Scene 2. At Winchester. Enter the two Mortimers with Warwick and Lancaster.
'Tis true, Lancaster. The bishop is in the tower, and goods and body given to Gaveston.
What? Will they turn eyes upon the church? Oh, wicked king! Accursed Gaveston!
Oh, no. Why droops the Earl of Lancaster? Wherefore is Guy of Warwick discontent?
That villain Gaveston has made an earl.
An earl?
Aye, and besides Lord Chamberlain of the Realm, and Secretary, too, and Lord of Man.
We may not, nor we will not suffer this. Why post we not from hence to levy men? Doth no man take exceptions at the slave?
Oh, stomach him! But none dare speak a word.
Ah, that betrays their baseness, Lancaster. Were all the earls and barons of my mind, we'd hale him from the bosom of the king, and at the court gate hang the peasant up, who swoon with venom of ambitious pride, will be the ruin of the realm and us.
Here comes my lord Archbishop of Canterbury.
His countenance betrays he is displeased. My Lord Bishop, will you now take arms against the king?
What need I? God himself is up in arms when violence is offered to the church.
Then will you join with us, that be his peers, to banish or behead that Gaveston?
What else, my lord? For it concerns me near. The bishopric of Coventry is his.
Look, my lords, here comes the queen. Madam, whither walks your majesty so fast?
Unto the forest, gentle Mortimer, to live in grief and baleful discontent. For now, my lord, the king regards me not, but dotes upon the love of Gaveston.
Is it not strange that he is thus bewitched? Madam, return unto the court again. That sly inveigling Frenchman we'll exile, or lose our lives. And yet ere that day comes, the king shall lose his crown. For we have power and courage, too, to be revenged at full.
Yet lift not your sword against the king.
No, but we will lift Gaveston from hence.
And war must be the means, or he'll stay still.
Then let him stay. Or rather than the lord shall be oppressed with civil mutinies, I will endure a melancholy life, and let him frolic with his minions.
My lords, ease all this, but hear me speak. We and the rest that are his counsellors will meet, and with the general consent confirm his banishment with our hands and seals.
But say, my lord, where shall this meeting be?
At the new temple.
Content.
Come then. That's the way.
Madam, farewell.
Farewell, sweet Mortimer. And for my sake, forbear to levy arms against the king.
Aye, if words will serve. If not, I must. Farewell, my lady.
Scene 3. The New Temple, London. In the meeting chamber, Lancaster, Warwick, Pembroke, the elder Mortimer, young Mortimer, and the Archbishop of Canterbury are gathered round a huge table.
Here, my lords, is the written form of Gaveston's exile. May it please your lordships to subscribe your names.
Give me the paper.
Quick, my Lord Bishop. I long to write my name.
But I long more to see him banished hence.
The name of Mortimer shall fright the king, unless he be declined from that base peasant.
What, my lord? Meet you thus secretly? And are you moved that Gaveston comes with me? It is our pleasure we will have it so.
Your grace doth well to place him by your side. For no one else the new earl is so safe.
What man of noble birth can brook this sight? We will not thus be faced and overpeered.
Lay hands on that traitor, Mortimer.
Lay hands on that traitor Gaveston. Hold, my lords. Is this the duty that you owe your king?
We know our duties. Let him know his peers.
Whither will you bear him? Stay or you shall die.
We are no traitors, therefore threaten not.
No, threaten not, my lord, but pay them homage. Were I a king, I'd sooner show them...
Thou, villain! Wherefore talkest thou of a king? Thou that art hardly a gentleman by birth.
Were he a peasant being my minion, I'll make the proudest of you stoop to him.
My lord, You may not thus disparage us. God, for who? Away, I say, with faithful Gaveston.
And with the Earl of Kent that favours him. Away! Was there a king thus overruled as I?
Let them too rule us better, and the realm.
What we have done, our hard blood shall maintain.
Think you we can maintain and brook this upstart's pride?
Meet you here for this, proud, overbearing peers. Ere my sweet Gaveston shall part from me, this isle shall flee upon the ocean and wander to the unfrequented end.
You know that I am legate to the Pope. On your allegiance to the See of Rome, subscribe as we have done to his exile.
Curse him if he refuse, and then may we depose him and elect another king.
Remember how the bishop was abused. Either banish him that was the cause thereof, or I will presently discharge these lords of duty and allegiance due to thee.
It boots me not to threat. I must speak fair. The legate of the Pope will be obeyed. My lord Archbishop, you shall be chancellor of the realm, make several kingdoms of this monarchy, and share it equally amongst you all, so I may have some nook or corner left to frolic with my dearest Gaveston.
Nothing shall alter us. We are resolved.
Come. Subscribe. Urge him, my lord Archbishop.
Are you content to banish him the realm?
I see I must, and therefore am content. Instead of ink, I'll write it with my tears. Give me a pen. That's done. And now, accursed hand, fall off.
Give it me. I'll have it published in the streets. Come.
How fast they run to banish him I love. They would not stir were it to do me good. If I be king, not one of them shall live.
My lord, I hear it whispered that I am banished and must fly the land.
It is true, sweet Gaveston. Oh, would it were false. The legate of the Pope will have it so, and thou must hence, or I shall be deposed. But I will reign to be revenged on them. And therefore, sweet friend, take it patiently. The time is little that thou hast to stay, and therefore give me leave to look my fill. But come, sweet friend, I'll bear thee on thy way.
Whither goes, my lord?
Fawn not on me, French strumpet, get thee gone.
On whom but on my husband should I fawn?
On young Mortimer, with whom, and gentle queen, I say no more. Judge you the rest, my lord.
In saying this thou wrongest me, Gaveston. Is't not enough that thou corruptst my lord, but thou must call mine honour thus in question?
Thou art too familiar with young Mortimer, and by thy means is Gaveston exiled. But I would wish thee reconcile the lords, or thou shalt ne'er be reconciled to me.
Your highness knows it lies not in my power.
Away then, touch me not. Come, Gaveston.
Oh, miserable and distressed queen. I must entreat him, I must speak him fair, and be a means to call home Gaveston.
Madam, how fares your grace?
Ah, Mortimer, now breaks the king's hate forth, and he confessed that he loves me not.
Fear ye not, madam. Now his minion's gone, his wanton humour will be quickly left.
Oh, never, Lancaster. I am enjoined to sue upon you all for his repeal. This wills, my lord, and this I must perform, or else be banished from his highness' presence.
But, madam, would you have us call him home?
Aye, Mortimer. For till he be restored, the angry king hath banished me the court. And therefore, as thou lovest and tendest me, be thou my advocate unto these peers.
What? Would you have me plead for Gaveston?
Sweet Mortimer, sit down by me a while, and I will tell thee reasons of such weight as thou wilt soon subscribe to his repeal.
It is impossible. Lord, speak your mind.
Then thus, so none shall say but I say.
You mark how earnestly she pleads.
See how coldly his looks make denial.
She smiles. For my life, his mind is changed.
My lords, that I abhor base Gaveston, I hope your honors make no question, and therefore, though I plead for his repeal, 'tis not for his sake, but for our avail. Nay, for the realm's behoof, and for the king's.
Aye, Mortimer, dishonour not thyself. Can this be true? 'Twas good to banish him?
Yet, good my lord, hear what he can allege.
All that he speaks is nothing. We are resolved.
My lords, know you not that Gaveston hath store of gold, which may in Ireland purchase him such friends as he will front the mightiest of us all?
Mark you but that, my lord Lancaster.
But were he here, detested as he is,
How easily might some base slave be suborned to greet his lordship with a poniard, and none so much as blame the murderer.
He saith true.
Aye? Without chance this was not done before.
Because, my lords, it was not thought upon. Now we shall have the people on our side. And when the commons and the nobles join, we'll pull him from the strongest hold he hath.
On that condition, Lancaster will grant.
And so will Pembroke and I.
And I.
In this I count me highly gratified. And Mortimer will rest at your command.
And when this favor Isabel forgets, then let her live abandoned and forlorn.
Stay. Here comes the king.
My gracious lord, I bring you news.
That you have parleyed with your Mortimer.
That Gaveston, the lord, shall be repealed.
Repealed? The news is too sweet to be true.
My gentle lord, bespeak these nobles fair. Let wait attendants for a gracious look, and on their knees salute your majesty.
Courageous Lancaster, embrace thy king. And as gross vapors perish by the sun, even so let hatred go with thy sovereign smile.
This salutation overjoys my heart. And mine, my lord.
Now is the King of England rich and strong, having the love of his renowned peers.
Aye, Isabel, ne'er was my heart so light. Clerk of the Crown.
Yes, my lord.
Beaumont, direct our warrant forth for Gaveston to Ireland.
Shall be done, my gracious lord.
Lord Mortimer, we leave you to your charge. Now let us in and feast it royally against our friend Gaveston comes. We'll have a general tilt and tournament. Spare for no cost, we will requite your love.
In this or aught your highness shall command us.
Thanks, gentle Warwick. Come, let's in and revel.
Nephew, I must go to Scotland. Thou stayest here. Leave now to oppose thyself against the king. Thou seest by nature he is mild and calm, and seeing his mind so dotes on Gaveston, let him, without controlment, have his will.
Whiles I have a sword, a hand, a heart, I will not yield to any such upstart. You know my mind. Come, uncle, let's away.
Act 2, Scene 1. The Great Hall in Teignmouth Castle at Westminster. Enter King Edward, Queen Isabella, Kent, Lancaster, young Mortimer, and Warwick, followed by their attendants.
How now? What news? Is Gaveston arrived?
Nothing but Gaveston. What means your grace? You have matters of more weight to think upon. The King of France sets foot in Normandy.
A trifle. We'll expel him when we please.
Sweet husband, be content. We all love you.
They love me not that hate my Gaveston.
If in his absence thus he favors him, what will he do when he shall be present?
That we shall see. Oh, look, where his lordship comes.
My liege.
Ah, my Gaveston, welcome to Teignmouth. Welcome to thy friend. Thy absence made me droop and pine away.
Sweet lord and king, your speech preventeth mine.
Will none of you salute my Gaveston?
Salute him? Yes. Welcome, Lord Chamberlain.
Welcome, the good Earl of Cornwall.
Welcome, Lord Governor of the Isle of Man.
Brother, you hear them?
My lord, I cannot brook these injuries.
Return it to their throats. I'll be their warrant.
Base leaden earls that glory in your birth, go sit at home and eat your tenants' beef, and come not here to scoff at Gaveston, whose mounting thoughts did never creep so low as to bestow a look on such as you.
Yet I disdain not to do this for you.
Treason, treason, save him. Convey hence Gaveston and murder him.
Thy life shall serve this foul disgrace, Lancaster.
Villain, thy life, unless I miss my name.
Take this.
Furious Mortimer, what hast thou done?
I'll not be barred the court for Gaveston.
We'll have him by the ears under the block.
Look to your own heads. His is sure enough.
Look to your own crown if you back him thus.
Warwick, these words do ill beseem thy ears.
Nay, brother, all of them conspire to cross me. But if I live, I'll tread upon their heads that think with high looks thus to tread me down.
Let's to our castles, my lords, for the king is moved.
Moved may he be.
My swelling heart for anger breaks. How oft have I been baited by these peers, and dare not be revenged, for their power is great. Yet shall the crowing of these cockerels affright a lion.
My lord, I see your love of Gaveston will be the ruin of the realm, and you. For now the wrathful nobles threaten wars, and therefore, brother,
Banish him forever.
Art thou an enemy to my Gaveston?
Aye. And it grieves me that I favoured him.
Traitor, be gone. Wine thou with Mortimer.
So will I, rather than with Gaveston.
Out of my sight and trouble me no more.
No marvel, though thou scorn thy noble peers, when I, thy brother, am rejected thus.
Away! Poor Gaveston has no friend but me.
Scene 2. A road in the neighborhood of Teignmouth Castle. Enter Kent, Lancaster, young Mortimer, Warwick, and others.
My lords, of love of this our native land, I come to join with you and leave the king. And in your quarrel and the realm's behoof will be the first that shall adventure life.
I fear me, my Lord Kent. You are sent of policy to undermine us with a show of love.
He is your brother. Therefore we have cause to cast the worst and doubt of your revolt.
Mine honor shall be hostage of my truth. If that will not suffice, farewell, my lord.
Stay, Edmund. Never was Plantagenet false of his word, and therefore trust we thee.
But what's the reason you should leave him now?
I've informed the Earl of Lancaster.
And it suffices. Now, my lords, know this, that Gaveston has secretly arrived, and here in Teignmouth frolics with the king. Let us with these our followers scale the walls, and suddenly surprise them unawares.
I'll give the onset. And I'll follow thee.
Drums, strike alarm, raise them from their sport, and ring aloud the knell of Gaveston.
Scene 3. A room inside Teignmouth Castle. Enter King Edward and young Spencer.
Tell me, Spencer, where is Gaveston?
I fear me he is slain, my gracious lord.
No, here he comes with the queen. Now let them spoil and kill.
My lord.
Fly, fly, Gaveston. The earls have got the hold. Take shipping and away to Scarborough. Spencer and I will post away by land.
Oh, stay, my lord. They will not injure you.
Oh, I will not trust them, Gaveston. Away.
Farewell, my lord.
No farewell to poor Isabel, thy queen.
Yes, yes, for Mortimer, your lover's sake.
Heaven can witness I love none but you.
Come, Gaveston, away.
From my embracements thus he breaks away. Oh, that mine arms could close this isle about, that I might pull him to me where I would.
I wonder how he escaped. Who's this?
The queen.
I, Mortimer, the miserable queen.
Cease to lament and tell us where's the king.
What would you with the king? Is it him you seek?
No, madam, but that cursed Gaveston. Tell us where he remains, and he shall die.
He's gone by water unto Scarborough. Pursue him quickly, and he cannot escape. The king hath left him, and his train is small.
Force slow, no time, sweet Lancaster. Let's march.
How comes it that the king and he have parted?
That thus your army, going several ways, might be of lesser force, and with the power that he intended presently to raise, be easily suppressed. Therefore, be gone.
Let's all aboard and follow him amain. Madam, stay you within this castle here.
No, Mortimer. I'll to my lord the king.
Nay, rather, sail with us to Scarborough.
You know the king is so suspicious. As if he hear I have but talked with you, mine honor will be called in question. And therefore, gentle Mortimer, be gone.
Madam, I cannot stay to answer you, but think of Mortimer as he deserves. Farewell.
Farewell. My son and I will over unto France, and to the king my brother there complain how Gaveston hath robbed me of his love. But yet I hope my sorrows will have end, and Gaveston this blessed day be slain.
Scene 4. A road in the open country in the late afternoon. Enter Gaveston pursued.
Yet, lusty lords, I have escaped your hands, your threats, your alarms, and your hot pursuits. And though divorced from King Edward's eyes, yet liveth Pierce of Gaveston, unsurprised.
Upon him, soldiers! Take away his weapons.
Look for no other fortune, wretch, than death. King Edward is not here to buckler thee.
Lancaster, why talkst thou to the slave? Go, soldiers, take him hence, for by my sword his head shall off.
Hold, my lord.
Oh, no, my lord of Arundel.
My lords, King Edward greets you all by me.
Arundel, say your message.
His Majesty, hearing that you have taken Gaveston, entreateth you by me, yet but he may see him before he die.
Arundel, we'll gratify the king in other matters. He must pardon us in this. Soldiers, away with him.
My lord. It is His Majesty's request, and in the honor of a king, he swears he will but talk with him and send him back.
When? Can you tell? Arundel know. We wot for Gaveston will, if he sees him once, violate any promise to possess him.
Then if you will not trust his grace in keep, my lords, I will be pledged for his return.
'Tis honorable in thee to offer this. But for we know thou art a noble gentleman, we will not wrong thee so to make away a true man for a thief.
My Lord Mortimer, and you, my lords, each one, to gratify the king's request therein, I will upon mine honor undertake to carry him and bring him back again, provided this, that you, my Lord of Arundel, will join with me.
Pembroke, what wilt thou do? Cause yet more bloodshed?
My lords, I will not overwoo your honors. But if you dare trust Pembroke with the prisoner, upon mine oath, I will return him back.
My Lord of Lancaster, what say you in this?
Why, I say, let him go on Pembroke's word.
And you, Lord Mortimer?
My Lord of Pembroke, we deliver him you. Return him on your honor.
Sound away!
My Lord of Arundel, you shall go with me. My house is not far hence. Come hither, James.
My lord.
James, I do commit this Gaveston to thee. Be thou this night his keeper. In the morning we will discharge thee of thy charge. Be gone.
Unhappy Gaveston, whither goest thou now?
Act 3, Scene 1. A wood near Deddington. Enter Gaveston and James with attendants of Pembroke.
Oh, treacherous Warwick, thus to wrong thy friend. Weaponless must I fall and die in bands. And ye be men, James, speed to the king.
My lord of Pembroke's men, strive you no longer. I will have that Gaveston. Go, take the villain. Soldiers away, we'll make quick work. Come, Gaveston, let thy shadow parley with King Edward.
Treacherous Earl, shall I not see the king?
The king of heaven, perhaps. No other king. Come away.
Scene 2. A field near Boroughbridge in Yorkshire. Enter King Edward and young Spencer, nobles of the king's army, and a company of soldiers.
I long to hear an answer from the barons touching my friend, my dearest Gaveston. Oh, Spencer, not the riches of my realm can ransom him. He is marked to die.
Lord, pardon my speech. Did you retain your father's magnanimity? Did you regard the honor of your name? You would not suffer thus your majesty be counterbluffed of your nobility. Strike off their heads and let them perch on poles.
Ay, gentle Spencer, we have been too mild, too kind to them. But now have drawn our sword, and if they send me not my Gaveston, we'll steal it on their crests and pull their tops.
Lord, here comes the queen and the young prince.
Madam, what news?
News of dishonor, Lord, and discontent. Our friend Levin here, faithful and full of trust, informeth us by letters and by words that Lord Valois, brother King of France, because your highness hath been slack in homage, hath seized Normandy into his hands.
Welcome, Levin. Tush, Sib, if this be all, Valois and I will soon be friends again. But, my Gaveston, shall I never see, never behold thee now? Madam, in this matter we will employ you and your little son. You shall go parley with the King of France. Choose of our lords to bear you company, and go in peace. Leave us in wars at home.
Unnatural wars, where subjects brave their king. God end them once. My lord, I take my leave to make my preparations for France.
Lord Arundel has arrived, sire.
What? Arundel, dost thou come alone?
Yea, my good lord, for Gaveston is dead.
Oh, traitors! How they put my friend to death. Tell me, Arundel, died here thou camest, or didst thou see my friend to take his death?
Neither, my lord, for, as he was surprised, begirt with weapons and with enemies around, I did your highness message to them all, demanding of them, entreating, rather, and said upon the honor of my name that I would undertake to carry him unto your highness and to bring him back.
And tell me, Would the rebels deny me that?
I found them at first inexorable. The Earl of Warwick would not bide the hearing. Mortimer Hartley. Pembroke and Lancaster spake least. And when they flatly had denied, refusing to receive my pledge for him, the Earl of Pembroke mildly thus bespake. My lords, because our sovereign sends for him, and promiseth he shall be safe returned, I will this undertake, to have him hence, and see him redelivered to your hand.
Well, and how fortunate is it that he came not?
Some treason or some villainy was the cause.
The Earl of Warwick seized him on his way, for being delivered unto Pembroke's men, their lord rode home thinking his prisoner safe. But ere he returned, Warwick in ambush lay, and bare him to his death, and in a trench strake off his head, and marched unto the camp.
By earth, the common mother of us all, by heaven and all the moving orbs thereof, by this right hand and by my father's sword and all the honours long to my crown, I will have heads and lives for him, as many as I have manors, castles, towns, and towers. Treacherous Warwick, traitorous Mortimer, if I be king of England, in lakes of gore, your headless trunks, your bodies will I trail. Soldiers, good hearts, defend your sovereign's right, for now, even now, we march to make them stoop.
I doubt it not, my lord. Right will prevail. Here come the rebels.
Look, Lancaster. Yonder is Edward among his flatterers.
What rebels? You shrink and sound retreat.
No, Edward, no. 'Tis thy flatterers faint and fly.
A noble attempt. An honourable deed, is it not, trow ye, to assemble aid and levy arms against your lawful king?
Which ere long their heads shall satisfy to appease the wrath of their offended king.
Then, Edward, thou wilt fight it to the last?
Aye, traitors rather than thus be braved. I'd make England civil towns, huge heaps of stones, and ploughs to go about our palace gates.
A desperate and unnatural resolution. Alarum! To the fight! St. George for England, and the Baron's right!
St. George for England, and King Edward's right! Forward, soldiers! Now, lusty lords, I've won, not by chance of war, but justice of the quarrel and the cause. Methinks you hand the heads, but we advanced them traitors. Now it is time to be avenged on you for all your braves, and for the murder of my dearest
Brother,
friend.
in regard of thee and of thy land did they remove that flatterer from thy throne.
Accursed wretches! Whilst in regard of us, when we had sent our messenger to request he might be spared to come and speak with us, and Pembroke under death for his return, that thou, proud Warwick, caught the prisoner, poor Piers, and headed him against law of arms. Away with them, my Lord of Winchester! These lusty leaders, Warwick and Lancaster, I charge you roundly off with both their heads. Away! Go take that haughty Mortimer to the Tower. There see him safe bestowed, and for the rest, do speedy execution on them all. Begone! Sound drums and trumpets. March with me, my friends. Edward this day hath crowned him king anew.
Act 4, Scene 1. A hotel in Paris. Discovered Queen Isabella and her son Prince Edward in their private suite.
Our son, our friends do fail us here in France. The lords are cruel and the king unkind. What shall we do?
Madam, return to England and please my father well. And then a fig for all my uncle's friendship here in France. I warrant you I'll win his highness quickly. He loves me better than 1,000 Spencers.
Ah, boy, thou art deceived at least in this, to think that we can yet be tuned together. No, we jar too far. Unkind Valois, unhappy Isabel. When France rejects, whither, oh, whither dost thou bend thy steps?
Madam, what cheer?
Ah, good Sir John of Hainault, never so cheerless, nor so far distressed.
I hear, sweet lady, of the king's unkindness, but droop not, madam. Will your grace go with me to Hainault, and there stay time's advantage with your son?
We will with thee to Hainault, so we will. The Marquis is a noble gentleman. His grace, I dare presume, will welcome me. But who are these?
Madam, long may you live. Much happier than your friends in England do.
Lord Kent and Lord Mortimer alive. Welcome to France. The news was here, my lord, that you were dead, or very near your death.
Lady, the last was truest of the twain. But Mortimer, reserved for better hap, hath shaken off the thraldom of the Tower, and lives to advance your standard, my young lord.
Oh, how mean you? The king, my father, lives. No, my Lord Mortimer, not I trow.
Not, son? Why not? I would it were no worse. But, gentle lords, friendless we are in France.
Yet have we friends, assure your grace, in England, would cast up caps and clap their hands for joy to see us there appointed for our foes.
The lords of England, sith the ungentle king of France refuseth to give aid of arms to this distressed queen, his sister here, go you with her to Hainault. Doubt ye not ye will find comfort, money, men, and friends. Madam along, and you, my lords, with me, that England's peers may Hainault's welcome see.
Scene 2. An apartment in the King's Palace at Westminster. King Edward, Arundel, and young Spencer are discussing the battle.
Thus, after many threats of wrathful war, triumpheth England's Edward with his friends, and triumph Edward with his friends uncontrolled.
My lord.
How now, what news with thee? From whence come these?
Letters, my lord, and tidings forth of France. For you, my lord of Gloucester, from Ledune.
Read, Spencer.
My duty to your honor premised. I have, according to instructions, dealt with the King of France and effected that the Queen, all discontented, is gone with Sir John of Hainault into Flanders. With them are gone Lord Edmund and the Lord Mortimer. Report goeth, they intend to give King Edward battle in England sooner than he can look for them. This is all the news of import. Your honors in all service, Ledune.
Ah, villains! Hath Mortimer escaped the Tower? With him is Edmund gone associate? And will Sir John of Hainault lead the round? Welcome a God's name, madam, and your son. England shall welcome you and all your rout. Between you both shorten the time, I pray, that I may see that most desired day when we meet these traitors in the field. Come, friends, to Bristol, there to make us strong.
Scene 3. A country road near Bristol. Enter King Edward, Baldock, and young Spencer.
Fly, my lord! The Queen has arrived in England. Our friends do multiply and yours do fail. Shape we our course to Ireland there to breathe.
What, was I born to fly and run away and leave the Mortimers conquerors behind? Give me my horse and let's reinforce our troops, and in this bed of honor die with fame.
Scene 4. The Abbey of Neath in Wales. Enter the abbot, monks, King Edward, and young Spencer.
Have you no doubt, my lord? Have you no fear? As silent and as careful we will be to keep your royal person safe with us, free from suspect, unfair invasion of such as have your majesty in chase.
Father, thy face should harbor no deceit. Or hadst thou ever been a king, thy heart, pierced deeply with a sense of my distress, could not but take compassion of my state.
Ah, your grace may sit secure, if none but we do what of your abode.
Baldock, awake! This drowsiness betides no good. Listen, even here we are betrayed.
Spencer and Baldock, I know other names. I do arrest you of high treason here. Stand not on titles, but obey the arrest. 'Tis in the name of Isabel, the Queen.
Come, Leicester, then in Isabella's name to take my life, my company from me. Here, man, rip up this panting breast of mine and take my heart in rescue of my friends.
My lord, it is in vain to grieve or storm. Here humbly of your grace we take our leaves. Our lots are cast. I fear me so is thine.
In heaven we may, and ne'er shall we meet. And Leicester, say what shall become of us?
Your Majesty must go to Killingworth.
Must? It is somewhat hard when kings must go. Well, what shall be, shall be. Sweet Spencer, gentle Baldock, part we must. Father, farewell. Leicester, thou stayest for me. Come, go I must. Farewell, my friends.
Act 5, Scene 1. An apartment in Killingworth Castle. Enter King Edward, Leicester, and the Bishop of Winchester.
Be patient, good my lord. Cease to lament. Imagine Killingworth Castle were your court.
Leicester, if gentle words might comfort me, thy speeches long ago had eased my sorrows. For thy kind and loving hast thou been. The griefs of private men are soon allayed, but what are kings when regiment is gone? But tell me, must I now resign my crown to make usurping Mortimer a king?
Oh, your grace mistakes. It is for England's good and the Prince Edward's right we crave the crown.
No, it is for Mortimer, not young Edward's head. For he's a lamb encompassed by wolves.
Lord, why waste you thus for time away? They stay your answer. Will you yield your crown?
Aye, Leicester, wait. How hardly can I brook to lose my crown and kingdom without cause. But what the heavens appoint, I must obey. Here, take my crown, the life of Edward too. 2 kings in England cannot reign at once. Commend me to my son, and bid him rule better than I. Yet how have I transgressed, unless it be with too much clemency?
Believe. Another post. What news brings Lord Berkeley?
Such news as I expect. Come, Berkeley, come and tell thy message to my naked breast.
My lord, think not a thought so villainous can harbor in a man of noble birth. To do your highness service and devoir, and save you from your foes, Berkeley would die.
My lord, the council of the Queen commands that I resign my charge over thee.
And who must keep me now? Must you, my lord Berkeley?
Aye, my most gracious lord, so 'tis decreed. Your grace must hence with me to Berkeley straight.
Whither you will, all places are alike, and every earth is fit for burial.
And think your grace that Berkeley will be cruel?
I know not, but of this I am assured, that death ends all, and I can die but once. Leicester, farewell.
Not yet, my lord. I'll bear you on your way.
Scene 2. In the Queen's apartment in the royal palace are discovered Queen Isabella and young Mortimer.
Fair Isabel, now have we our desire. The proud corrupters of the light-brained king have done their homage to the lofty gallows, and he himself lies in captivity. Be ruled by me, and we will rule the realm.
Sweet Mortimer, the life of Isabel, be thou persuaded that I love thee well, and therefore, so the prince my son be safe, whom I esteem as dear as these mine eyes. Conclude against his father what thou wilt, and I myself will willingly subscribe.
First would I hear news he were deposed, and then let me alone to handle him.
Here is the crown, my queen.
Thanks, gentle Winchester.
The king hath willingly resigned his crown.
Oh, happy news. Send for the prince, my son.
Further, ere this letter was sealed, Lord Berkeley came, so that he now is gone from Killingworth. Our Lord of Berkeley is as pitiful as Leicester that had charge of him before. And there lies danger.
Then let some other be his guardian.
Let me be, my queen. Here is the privy seal, Bishop. Go now, your grace.
Yes, my lord. We go.
Gurney?
Aye, my lord.
Matrevis?
Lord. Aye, my lord.
Matrevis, write a letter presently unto the Lord of Berkeley from ourself, that he resign the king to thee and Gurney. And when 'tis done, we will subscribe our name.
It shall be done, my lord.
Gurney.
Lord.
Seek all the means thou canst to make the king droop, and neither give him kind word nor good look.
I warrant you, my lord.
And this above the rest, because we hear that Edmund casts to work his liberty, remove him from place to place by night, till at the last he come to Killingworth, and then from thence to Berkeley back again.
Fear not, my lord. We'll do as you command.
So now away.
Whither goes this letter? To my lord the king? Commend me humbly to his majesty, and tell him that I labor all in vain to ease his grief and work his liberty. And bear him this ring as witness of my love.
I will, madam. Come, Gurney.
Scene 3. A dungeon in Killingworth Castle. Enter Matrevis and Gurney and soldiers with King Edward a prisoner.
Friends, whither must unhappy Edward go? Will hateful Mortimer appoint no rest? When will the fury of his mind assuage? When will his heart be satisfied with blood? Within a dungeon England's king is kept, for I am starved for want of sustenance. My daily diet is heart-breaking sobs that almost rent the closet of my breast. Thus lives old Edward, not relieved by any, and so must die, though pitied by many.
Why strive you thus? Your labor is in vain. Come away. Put the torches out. We'll enter in by darkness to Killingworth.
How now? Who comes there?
Got the king sure. It's the Earl of Kent.
Oh, gentle brother, help to rescue me.
Keep them asunder.
Soldiers, let me but talk to him one word.
Lay hands upon the Earl for his assault.
Lay down your weapons, traitors. Yield the king.
Edmund, yield thou thyself, or thou shalt die.
Base villains. Wherefore do you grip me thus?
Bind him, and so convey him to the court.
Where is the court but here? Here is the king. And I will visit him. Why stay you me?
The court is where Lord Mortimer remains. Thither shall your honor go. And so, farewell.
Ah, miserable is that commonweal where lords keep court and kings are locked in prison.
Scene 4. A room off the coronation chamber in the royal palace.
The king must die, or Mortimer goes down. The commons now begin to pity him. Yet he that is the cause of Edward's death is sure to pay for it when his son's of age, and therefore will I do it cunningly. This letter, written by a friend of ours, contains his death, yet bids them save his life. Within this room is locked a messenger that shall convey it and perform the rest. And by a secret token that he bears from the queen, shall he be murdered when the deed is done.
Lightman, come forth.
My lord.
Art thou so resolute as thou wast? Man?
What else, my lord? And far more resolute.
And hast thou cast how to accomplish it?
You shall not need to give instructions. It is not the first time I have killed a man.
I care not how it is, so it be not spied. Deliver this letter to Gurney and Matrevis. At every 10-mile end, thou hast a horse waiting. Away. And never see me more.
No?
No. Unless thou bring me news of Edward's death.
That will I quickly do. Farewell, my lord.
Now is all sure. The queen and Mortimer shall rule the realm, the king. And none rules us. And that this be the coronation day, it pleaseth me, and Isabel the queen. The trumpet sound.
I must go take my place.
Long live King Edward III, by the grace of God, King of England and Lord of Ireland.
If any Christian, heathen, Turk, or Jew dare but affirm that Edward's not true king and will vouch his saying with the sword, I am the champion that will combat him.
None comes.
Lord Mortimer, now take him to your charge.
Bring forth the prisoner. What traitor have we here with blades and bills?
Edmund, King, the Earl of Kent, my lord.
What hath he done?
He would have taken the king away by force as we were bringing him to Kenilworth.
Did you attempt his rescue, Edmund? Speak.
Mortimer, I did. He is our king. And thou compellest this prince to wear the crown.
Strike off his head. He shall have martial law.
Strike off my head, base traitor. I defy thee.
My lord, he is my uncle, and shall live.
My lord, he is your enemy, and shall die.
Stay, villains.
Sweet mother, if I cannot pardon him, entreat my lord protector for his life.
Son, we content. I dare not speak a word.
Nor I. And yet methinks I should command. But seeing I cannot, I'll entreat for him. My lord, if you will let my uncle live, I will requite it when I come to age.
'Tis for your highness' good and for the realm's safety.
Art thou king? Must I die at thy command?
At our command. Once more, away with him.
What safety may I look for at his hands, mother, if my uncle shall be murdered thus?
Fear not, sweet boy. I'll guard thee from thy foes. Had Edmund lived, he would have sought thy death.
Scene 5, the dungeons in the cellar of Berkeley Castle.
Gurney, I wonder the king dies not. Being in a vault up to his knees in water were enough to poison any man, much more a king, brought up so tenderly.
And so do I, Matrevis. Yesternight, I opened but the door to throw him meat, and I was almost stifled with a savour.
He had the body able to endure more than we can inflict. But stay, who's this?
The Lord Protector greets you.
What's here? A letter? I know not how to construe it.
It was left unpointed for the nonce. Edwardum, Osidira, Violetta, Tamara, Bone and Fast. Fear not to kill the king. 'Tis good he die. Yes, that's the meaning.
Know you this token? 'Tis the Queen's ring. Now I must have the king.
Stay a while. Thou shalt have answer straight. This villain's sent to make away with the king.
I thought as much.
And when the murder's done, we will see how he must be handled for his labor. Let him have the king.
Here is the key, and this is the lock. Do as you're commanded by my lord.
I know what I must do. Get you away. Yet be not far off. I shall need your help.
Fear not thou that.
Here's a light to go into the dungeon. Come, let's away, Matrevis.
So, now to the business.
Who's there? What light is that? Wherefore comes thou?
To comfort you and bring you joyful news.
Small comfort finds poor Edward in thy looks. Villain, I know thou comest to murder me.
To murder you, my most gracious lord. Far is it from my heart to do you harm. The Queen sent me to see how you were used,
for she relents at this your misery.
These looks of thine can harbour naught but death. I see my tragedy written in thy brows. Yet stay a while, forbear thy bloody hand, and let me see the stroke before it comes. But even then, when I shall lose my life, my mind then be more steadfast on my God.
What means your highness to mistrust me thus?
What meanest thou to dissemble with me thus?
These hands were never stained with innocent blood, nor shall they now be tainted with a king's.
Forgive my thought for having such a thought. One jewel have I left. Receive thou this.
My lord.
Still fear I, and I know's not what's the cause. But every joint shakes as I give it thee.
Oh, you're overwatched, my lord. Lie down and rest.
What that grief keeps me waking, I should sleep. For not these 10 days have these eyelids closed. Something still buzzeth in mine ears, and tells me if I sleep, I never wake. Wherefore art thou come?
To rid thee of thy life.
I am too weak and feeble to resist. Oh, spare me or dispatch me in a trice.
My lord, 'tis time. Speed thee on thy way.
Sweet God, receive my soul.
Come, Matrevis. Oh, tell me, sirs, was it not bravely done?
Excellent, well. And so,
take this up
for thy reward. Come, let us cast his body in the moat, and bear the kings to Mortimer our lord.
Come away.
Scene 6, the audience chamber in the royal palace. Enter the Queen and young Mortimer.
Mortimer, the king my son hath news his father's dead, and we have murdered him.
What if he have?
The king is yet a child.
Aye, but he tears his hair and wrings his hands and vows to be revenged upon us both. Into the council chamber he is gone to crave the aid and succor of his peers. See where he comes, and they with him. Now, Mortimer, begins our tragedy.
Oh, villain!
Oh, now, my lord.
Think not that I am frightened with thy words. My father's murdered through thy treachery, and thou shalt die. And on his mournful hearse thy hateful and accursed head shall lie, to witness to the world that by thy means his kingly body was too soon interred.
Weep not, sweet son.
Forbid me not to weep. He was my father, and had you loved him half so well as I, you could not bear his death thus patiently.
Who is the man dares say I murdered him?
Traitor, in me my loving father speaks, and plainly saith, 'twas thou that murderest him.
But has your grace no other proof than this?
Yes, if this letter here be in the hand of Mortimer.
Aye, it is my hand. What gather you by this?
That thither thou didst send a murderer.
What murderer? Bring forth the man I sent.
Ah, Mortimer, thou knowst that he is slain, and so shalt thou be too. Why stays he here? Drag him forth, hang him up, I say, and set his quarters high. But bring his head back presently to me.
For my sake, sweet pity, Mortimer.
Madam, entreat not. I will rather die than sue for life to a paltry boy.
Hence with the traitor, away with the murderer.
Farewell, fair queen.
My son, as thou receivest thy life from me, spill not the blood of gentle Mortimer.
This argues that you spilt my father's blood. Else would you not entreat for Mortimer?
I spill his blood? No.
Aye, madam, you, for so the rumor runs.
That rumor is untrue.
Mother, you are suspected for his death, and therefore we commit you to the tower till further trial be made thereof. If you be guilty, though I be your son, think not to find me slack or pitiful.
Nay, to my death. For too long have I lived when my son thinks to abridge my days.
Away with her. Her words enforce these tears, and I shall pity her if she speaks again.
My lord, here is the head of Mortimer.
Ah. Go. Fetch my father's bier, where it shall lie, and bring my funeral robes. Accursed head. Could I have ruled thee then as I do now, thou hadst not hatched this monstrous treachery. Oh, here comes the bier. Help me to mourn my lord. Sweet father, here unto thy murdered ghost I offer up this wicked traitor's head, and let these tears distilling from mine eyes be witness of my grief and innocency.
You have just heard Edward II by Christopher Marlowe. Those taking part in today's performance were King Edward II Alfred Shirley, Queen Isabella Florence Malone, the Earl of Kent Raymond Edward Johnson, Gaveston Rex O'Malley, Warwick Carl Benton Reed, Lancaster Charles Webster, Arundel Harry Mestayer, Leicester William Shelley, Berkeley J.M. Dunn, Mortimer the Elder Neil O'Malley, Mortimer the Younger Edmund O'Brien, Spencer Horace Braham, the Archbishop of Canterbury Harry Neville, and Prince Edward Burford Hampden. The second was a presentation of the National Broadcasting Company, RCA Building, Radio City, New York.